Historically, a scrambler was a street motorcycle converted for riding in the dirt, which led to a pretty wide variety of bikes lining up for local hare scrambles. Today's modern interpretations are just as diverse. Ducati's pairs 50/50 tires with a repurposed Monster 796 motor, Yamaha's puts a Q-tank and higher bars/midfoot control on their V-twin cruiser, and Triumph will sell you a Scrambler inspiration kit for your Triumph Street Twin that doesn't have knob in sight. So what's a Scrambler anyway? This is what I contemplate shin deep in country muck on BMW's answer to my question. In a field of just having fun, it's very serious. Compared to its competitors, this new nineT Scrambler has the most power, the highest seat, and the highest price. Its heart is plucked from the previous iteration of BMW's legitimate adventure R1200 GS, the looks come from the stunning nineT, and the cost is to match more people's budget. But is it a Scrambler? In the looks department, absolutely. It retains the retro visage of the nineT, squat and retro with a tiny round headlight and lines that evoke BMW's past toaster tanks, but with a smattering of utility. There's less bright work, cast wheels, half-inch lift in the front, and an inch in the rear, placing the seat height at 32.5 inches, a new seat, and finally, an Akrapovic-designed high-mount exhaust. The exhaust pipes sit at the same spot, but the new muffler pokes out from just under the seat, whispering sweet dirty dirt brax in your ear. And then there are the optional Karoo 3 and 50/50 tires. Checkmate in the looks department for Scrambler legitimacy. In the engineering department, it packs heat, but has been compromised elsewhere. The motor is the very same from the nineT, a 1170cc air/oil-cooled opposed twin that puts out 110 horsepower and 85 pounds-foot of torque. The transmission is the same 6-speed unit, but the final drive has been lowered on this model for snappier acceleration. The motor has also been revised to meet Euro 4 standards with a charcoal canister, new exhaust, and tune, so miles per gallon has taken a hit from 52 to 45. However, there's less component finery as well. The suspension has been changed from used to conventional 43mm units. A lower-cost monoshock has been swapped in, as have more basic 4-piston Brembo brakes. Laced wheels are now an option, with a 19 front and 17 cast 5-spoke wheels now standard. A steel tank instead of aluminum is also utilized. The frame is now a cheaper 3-piece unit instead of a 4-piece. Oh, and the take is gone. The reason for these moves, BMW explains, is to bring the cost down from the $15,095 of the nineT to $13,000 for the Scrambler version. But the model I would be riding would push that number upward with cross-spoked wheels, $500, ASC stability control, $400, and heated grips, $250, bringing the price back to $14,150. So BMW has both supplied more and less at the same time, less in terms of spec sheet jewelry, but more in the terms of value and usability off-road to fit the nebulous term of Scrambler. So do knobbies and little bit of a suspension lift a Scrambler make? It worked in 1980 for the BMW R80 GS, and it works today as its modern successors blur the line between dirt capability and street comfort. But for a final verdict, the spoils of New Jersey would be the judge, crisscrossing between streets, gravel, light double track, and pockmarked sections in between. Immediately, asphalt would illuminate the changes over its sibling. The motor strums with the same attitude of the nineT, with only a slight gurgle when you let off the throttle. The sound is more industrial than soaring braw-upness. But it is an opposed twin after all, a motor more known for its ruggedness than its soundtrack. Power is still there too, punting you with mid-range strength, and moving all 485 pounds of motorcycle with aplomb. That's where the similarities between the original nineT and though. The first major change to the Scrambler's attitude comes from the tires. The Metzler Karoo 3 S provide plenty of grip, but do wobble in that characteristic knobby way, squirming into and out of corners. Then you notice the suspension, a serious downgrade. It crashes over bumps, juddering the entire bike, and the rear features very little damping as well. With these changes, the Scrambler relinquishes much of the refinement that makes the nineT so special. Ratcheting down on the brakes showcases significant nosedive up front, throwing weight forward as you brake towards the apex. Thankfully, the switch to 4-piston, traditional mounted Brembos hasn't sacrificed too much stopping power.